By now, it's no secret that the PGA Tour is engaged in an all-out battle against the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League. The PGA Tour has been actively suspending and banning golfers who participate in LIV Series events, and the situation seems to be heating up as scores of golf pros follow LIV's big money prizes. So stay tuned and don't go away, because golf is the latest sport to be affected by sport washing. First up, will this battle between leagues be resolved soon? Let's take a look. LIV Golf keeps luring the PGA's players to their rival golf league, and there doesn't seem to be an end in sight. At the time of this recording, no one knows how the situation will be resolved or what the final fallout for this rivalry will be. Some of the PGA's biggest stars, players like Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson, just to name a few, have all made the switch to LIV Golf and are now earning more money than they ever did with the PGA. The PGA simply can't compete with the financial backing from Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Recently, LIV Golf kicked off its first series with an event in London and has been rife with controversy ever since Mickelson first confirmed his interest. The RBC Canadian Open was also underway during the London event, and Dustin Johnson, who's a regular at the RBC Canadian Open, was noticeably absent. Many consider golfers who cross over to LIV Golf to be traitors. It's as simple as that. But are they though? I mean, if you were a pro golfer and could make astronomical sums of money playing golf, wouldn't you? If you stood to make $10 million per year in the PGA, would you switch to LIV Golf if they'd be willing to pay you $100 million? For many of the golfers who have crossed over, it's a no-brainer. If you're earning, say, $20 per hour at your current job, and another employer offers you $200 per hour to do the exact same job, would you keep working for the employer paying you $20 per hour? I'll go out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you'd probably make the switch to the bigger money option in a heartbeat. And who could blame you? After all, golf pros are human like the rest of us, and they have families that need support. Next up, what about Saudi Arabia's horrible human rights record? Let's find out. It's no secret that Saudi Arabia engages in practices such as public executions, with the most common method being beheading by sword. Sadly, people in Saudi Arabia have met this fate for identifying as members of the LGBTQIA2S+ community. Others have received a date with the executioner for petty drug offenses that in the Western world would probably get you a few months or years in prison. When speaking about the opportunity to play in Saudi Arabia, Mickelson said, "We know they killed Washington Post reporter and US resident Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. They've been able to get by with manipulative, coercive, strong-arm tactics because we, the players, had no recourse. As nice a guy as PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan comes across as, unless you have leverage, he won't do what's right. And the Saudi money has finally given us that leverage. I'm not sure I even want the SGL to succeed, but just the idea of it allowing us to get things done with the PGA Tour." Mickelson's comments are very interesting. Apparently, it's more important to him that golfers use the Saudi League as a bargaining chip against the PGA than to make a statement about Saudi Arabia's brutal track record. Up next, is Saudi Arabia engaging in sport washing? Let's dig a little deeper. First off, what is sport washing? Sport washing is when a country or political regime uses the lure of sport to attract attention and goodwill to cover up and distract from the human rights violations they've engaged in. Sport washing is nothing new, and it's been used in the past by various nations. Now, some observers argue that Saudi Arabia is clearly attempting to sport wash its country's dirty image. For those of you who don't know, Saudi Arabia is a nation run by an authoritarian regime. In other words, Saudi Arabia's citizens are ruled by an iron fist. For instance, women in Saudi Arabia are treated as second-class citizens. Women weren't even allowed to drive a car until July of 2018. The nation's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, says he wants to make Saudi Arabia a country of moderate Islam that is open to all religions and to the world. Well, that does sound nice. However, Crown Prince Salam has been linked to various human rights rights abuses, including the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist who had been very critical of him. Despite knowing about these offenses, Mickelson said that it's no secret to the other golfers in the LIV Golf Series either. Everybody knows about the human rights violations taking place over there, and it's not that players don't care, it's just that they're doing what any one of us would probably do, and that's going after the big money. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're bringing you the latest golf news. Next up, are PGA Tour players still flocking to LIV Golf? You're about to find out. The list of pro golfers jumping the PGA ship to play in the LIV Golf Series continues to grow. At the time of this recording, the most recent players to jump ship are Matthew Wolff, Carlos Ortiz, and Eugenio Chacarra. These players have rounded out the 48-player field at Pumpkin Ridge. Wolff is the biggest name in the group and is currently ranked 77th in the world and is the latest high-level player to be suspended from PGA Tour events after crossing over to LIV Golf. In recent years, the 23-year-old one-time PGA Tour winner has battled poor form all after rising to the number 12 spot in the world in late 2020. Wolff had a wildly successful college career at Oklahoma State, but after winning the 2019 3M Open, he quickly earned his PGA Tour membership after winning the 2019 3M Open. But ever since his T2 finish at the 2020 US Open, he's only finished in the top 10 twice. Carlos Ortiz has struggled recently as well. Ortiz is ranked 119th in the world and will join his fellow Mexican golfer Abe Ancer in the camp for the LIV Series. Ortiz has definitely not been playing his best golf and missed 8 cuts in 19 events during this tour season alone, and he had 0 top 30 finishes for all of 2022. At the Travelers Championship, Ortiz shot 74-77 and failed to make the cut yet again. Up next, how has Eugenio Chacarra been playing lately? Let's take a look. College golf fans will remember Chacarra from his recent playoff loss at the NCAA Championship back in May. Chacarra, an amateur ranked number 2 in the world, announced his first event as a professional will be the Portland event. Chacarra was doing an interview with Spanish golf journalist Hugo Costa and said his LIV golf recruitment happened very quickly, and he even committed to 2 years of events. Chacarra told Costa, "They give me the opportunity to play 2 or 3 years with top professionals and be a millionaire. If any person put these figures on the table, I would not hesitate. I respect the critics. They are envious people and people who like to give cane. I'm not worried. I'm not aware of the networks. I just want to work and improve." If Chacarra hopes to compete for that 3rd year, he'll have to make sure he's playing his best golf, because he'll only be eligible to play for a 3rd year if he finishes among the top 32 players, as per his contract. Chacarra didn't divulge the details on how much money he signed for, but did say the money will provide a radical change of life for me and my future family. Chacarra's remarks tie in with what we were saying earlier about how even the biggest golfers in the world are just ordinary guys at the end of the day who are trying to do what's best for their families. So can we really blame them for signing contracts with the PGA Tour's rival? If the PGA Tour has such a problem with LIV Golf, maybe they ought to match or exceed what LIV Golf is offering its players. After all, there's nothing stopping the PGA from meeting and exceeding Saudi prize money. Finally, is Claire Hogle becoming golf's biggest social media influence? Claire Hogle is the biggest rising golf influencer, and people are drawing comparisons between her and Paige Spiranak. And let's not forget Isabel Shi. Paige and Isabel are the 2 most famous names in the golf influencer world. But now, there's a new girl in town. Claire Hogle is a fellow golf influencer with over 500,000 Instagram followers, and the count is climbing fast. Hogle calls herself a huge golf gal and claims to have fallen in love with the sport in her teens. Hogle hails from San Diego, and in a recent interview said, "In the past couple of years, I've seen so many women take up the game, and my circle of golf sisters has grown to include some of my closest friends." That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.